So, uh, guys, as you all know, this is basically a session by Job Physics. This is our first Zoom session, and our motto is, how the first 5 minutes which decides your interview. So basically, our speaker is Miss Nisha Sharma. She started her career when she was 17 years old, and she did her master's in international business operations, and she guides n number of professional every day. She's the founder and a leadership trainer at OpLogic, and Nisha is conducting these webinars regularly. So basically, she trains freshers as well as experienced people. So I would request, actually, I would welcome Nisha on our panel, and I would request Nisha to please take over the session from here. मैं पहले एक चीज आप सबको क्लियर कर दूं. अभी ये सेशन जो स्टार्ट हुआ है, निशा पहले सेशन लेंगे. आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस होंगे वो आप चैट में डाल, चैट बॉक्स है वहां नीचे, आप वहां अपने क्वेश्चंस लिख सकते हैं. निशा लास्ट में आपके क्वेरीज को एड्रेस करेंगी. ओवर टू यू निशा.
Hi Ashpreet, thank you so much. ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ, ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਤਰਫੋਂ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਦੇ ਉਸ ਪਹਿਲੂ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਗਰੂਕ ਕਰਵਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁਧਾਰ ਲਿਆਏਗਾ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੱਥ ਵੜਾਓ ਔਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਲਾਈ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿਓ। If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat and we will answer them in the end. So before we get started, something about our company OpLogic. Companies and professionals become extraordinary performers with the help of leadership training and process improvement expertise. And how we are going to help you today is we will talk about 3 steps of getting a job. First, when you apply a job. Second, when you are selected for an interview. And third, when you are there for the interview in the interview room. So let's begin. Confidence is the key. How do you appear confident for a thing like interview? Environment itself is so tense, and you are around people you don't know, and they have an official right to judge you, isn't it? And the pressure to stand out from the other candidates. Now, how are you supposed to stand out from the people you don't even know? It sounds pretty impossible, isn't it? Let's make it simple. You tell me, have you ever given an opportunity to anyone you don't like, even the smallest? Please write in the chat, have you ever given an opportunity to anyone you don't like? No, exactly. We don't give opportunities to people we don't like. So it is not very different in the interviews as well. So what happens in the interviews is you have to make yourself liked by the interviewer. Now it sounds simple, right? Not so much. I'll guide you how to be liked by the interview. Let's go in this. First thing is awareness. Awareness kills the fear. Awareness of what the requirement is exactly, and there are two kind of requirements. First is technical and second is non-technical. Let's understand the requirements better. Let's take first the technical one. It starts by writing a CV where you put your technical experience and educational backgrounds with your contact details. That's it. You don't have to put anything else. Keep it short. Easiest way to write a CV is take 5 companies that you want to really work for and go on their website, check out their old job profiles. Yes, it's okay if they are old. What you need to do with that is pick out the terms from those job profiles, because first level filtration happens through computers and terms matters a lot there. For example, if you are writing a budget, yes, the word budget. If you are writing budget and they have written in the JD a word like cost, technically the meaning is same. We are talking about money. So If a JD is having a word cost and your CV is having a word budget, it won't match in the first level of interview. So what you need to do is, in the first level of filtration, you need to match the terms. So for that, what my suggestion is, go ahead on the websites of the company that you like, and from their JD, you need to take out the terms, exact terms, and put it in your CV. And that way, you will clear out the first level of filtration. Then comes the second level of filtration. Imagine that from the first level you have cleared. Now there is a person who is supposed to read your CV. Now what these people do is they read hundreds of CVs every day, and they don't spend more than 7 to 10 seconds onto one CV. Then how do you make them filter you in from that whole crowd? What you need to do is make your CV very easy to read. You need to take care about that they read exactly what you want them to read. Now, two clever lines can make one person intrigued enough that they read whole of your CV. That's what you need to pull off. Once you're done with this, you would be called for an interview. Let's hear from the experts of the industry. Mr. Joseph Thomas from Algeva Business Solutions, who have been in business for 15 years. Let's hear about the requirement.
Running an award-winning firm for the last 15 years, uh, interview is a part of life for us. Let me share with you a few nuggets that might be of use. One is positive attitude. It's the most important thing. Attitude is the most important. You should be approachable and friendly. Second is that one question that people are going to ask you is why you want to leave the organization. Do not say that it's for better prospects and looking for better money. It can be, you want to better your skills that you have. You want to learn more, and you would like to take on more responsibilities. These could be better answers. Third is that what you should say is do a thorough research on the company. You should be well prepared. You should understand what is anything in the latest news about it, any product, study the understanding. CV should be tailor made for that company. It should not be just one CV that fits all. That really won't. And most importantly, the last point I would like to talk about is. When they talk, they want to hire you, and you should be able to bring the benefits that for which they should hire you. Be very specific. Talk about facts and figures, achievements. Do not ramble, and not to underline your presentability is also very, very important. Be well groomed and be fresh. All right. There are much more, but then these come to the top of my mind. Wish you all the best. Bye bye.
So now this was the technical requirement. What we need to see on the second level is non-technical requirement. Now next level comes when you get a call from the HR saying that why don't you come down to office and let's have an interview with you. What you need to know at that point is this a elimination round of interview, or is it a decision maker? You should know the process, how many rounds of interview are there, so that you can prepare your response better. And how you can do that is ask those HR who call you directly that how many rounds are there. Mostly last two of the interviews are the decision maker rounds. So once you have this information, what you need to do is build a strategy for both. Both have different strategy. Let's reach out if you are on the elimination round, what you need to do. When you are on the elimination round, what you need to care about is this round is there for rejection. Yes, as the name suggests, elimination round is to filter out people very quickly. And for this basis, what they have is they already have a base checklist. They would quickly be asking you, do you know this? Do you know that? And very little bit of your experience will be discussed here. If your 50 to 70% of knowledge area matches that, they will call you for a further round of interview. So you need to quickly keep on moving forward. Okay, so this was about elimination round. Once you are called for decision maker round, let's hear from the hiring professionals of the industry that what they are looking for in decision making round. Let's hear from Mr. Anil Kumar from the Job World, who specializes in IT recruitment industry.
Being in this recruitment industry for last 23 years, I always believe that to find a right candidate for right job on right time, it's the challenge. During my interviews, I always look forward to have a candidate who are having three major skills, which is very essential in recruitment industry. First one is interest-based job profile. If the candidate is having the interest, which will impact their dedication and determination to reach their goal. Second one is attitude. If the candidate is having the right attitude, that is the part of the personality which he or she can scale up their skill. And third one is the communication. If the person is having the good communication where he or she can communicate with the clients or customers very well. We at JobWorld look forward to have three major skills for hiring good candidates. Thank you.
So friends, once you have cleared all rounds of interview, things actually does not end here. There's another level of thing when companies are judging you, and that is background verification. So let's hear from Mr. Venu Ravindran, who specializes in background verification of automobile industry.
Hi friends, good evening. This is Venu Ravindran. I'm into the business of HR services background verification. Today I'm going to share a few tips around that. Friends, if you are a job seeker or if you are looking for a change of job or if you are trying to build up a profile, be truthful with the content. Don't ever look for alternatives or shortcuts. If you have a break in your career or if there is a break in your education, please do put that. That will not stop your growth in your career. It will always succeed, but may take time, but you will always have a success in your career. So friends, do take care. Signing off, Venu Ravindra. Thank you.
So friends, you have heard from different level of industry experts that what happens actually on the other side of the table. So from this whole process, actually the fun starts in the decision making round. Attentiveness, confidence, personality, trustworthiness, all these qualities, what these experts have mentioned, actually are being judged within the 5 minutes you enter in the room. And that happens naturally to us. Whenever you will see a person, you make a judgment within a few seconds. And as soon as they start speaking, you make a judgment that how valuable the person is, how knowledgeable the person is. So it same thing happens in the interview. So how you can control is that what they are looking for is the soft skills so that they can work with you. We need to make an impression, and a person in control can control the situation, right? Now, have you ever given it a thought that you can drive the interview? Yes, you can. Most of the times interviews start with the most important question, and that is, tell me something about yourself. First of all, what is the relevance of this question? First is to comfort you by asking you something very simple, and second, to set a baseline for your body language. Because all these information, what experts talked about, it actually is being read from our body language. Yes, it is that important. So in that regards, when they are setting the baseline from that first question, and as soon as you start to lie, they would be able to read this. So now, when you know it, you need to use this opportunity to show confidence and give a direction to the conversation. Yes, conversation. Not the question answer typical pattern. You don't want to go there. And I'll tell you why. Because if you can't have a conversation with a person, how will you imaginably work with that person? Right? When you are in a team, everybody likes to work with the person who they like. So now this person is judging you on the basis of whether this person will be easy to work with or not. That is why you need to build a conversation. Now, interviews are difficult conversations. I totally agree. How you can drive it is in this way. Likability is an important factor in getting opportunities. And no one gives an opportunity to someone they don't like. So, conversation, when you are having a conversation with somebody, That is the main point which will tell you whether you're going to be succeeded in an interview or not. Enhance on the pointers where the listener was interested, and end on something where you want the interviewer to pick the conversation on. Yes, you can end it on the experience if it matches to the JD, or you can end the answer on the pointer where your education is highlighted, maybe because that is matching with your with the JD. So you can drive the conversation in that way. What you need to do is to be the likable person who is interested in the job, and how you can show interest is by your non-verbal cues. You don't have to verbalize everything. What you can do is raise your eyebrows on the pointers where you are actually interested with the job, and also smile on some pointers which makes you really happy, not the whole time, not the stagnant, because that looks fake. So what you need to do is, with the non-verbal cues, you need to make sure that the person is understanding whether or not you are interested in the job. So once you're done with that, we will move on to the next level. Now, when we are talking about that interviews are difficult conversation, why it is difficult is because interviews are set patterns that only the interviewer is supposed to ask the questions. You can ask questions, but if you ask more than two, three questions, the whole pattern seems like who is interviewing who, right? So in this term, what you need to do is you need to ask your questions without using the typical questions like who, what, when, where. You can't use these words. So in this time, not more than two, three times. Don't take me wrong. You can ask questions, but not more than two, three, because it looks daunting. So what you need to do, you need to ask your questions in a way which will not sound like question, but you will make the other person speak more. And when the person is speaking more, they definitely are liking you. That is why they are speaking more. Okay. So first point is, how can you make someone elaborate onto some point which they are already talking about? So if they say something like our company works in this particular manner, and you're not done with that question, what you can do is nod three times, and they will pick up the cue and they will continue speaking on that topic. And if it does not work, what you can do is add a technique. How you can use it is in this way: to make the person speak more on a certain topic, you can use this technique by repeating the last three words, last one to three words actually. How it works is, let's take an example. If the interviewer is telling you about the company and you want them to keep talking. Now, let's take the example. Interviewer says, in our company, we value association. Now, association can mean differently on different positions and for different companies. You want them to tell you more about it, what the association is about, or who exactly are they talking about. So, without asking all this daunting question, what you can say is association, and by that, the person will explain what kind of association they are talking about. So in this way, smartly you ask them a question and it didn't even sound like a question. I can make you talk for hours by this technique and you will not even know. And next technique is paraphrase. It applies on every situation when you are asked an open-ended question. Open-ended questions are pitfalls actually. People happen to give all that unnecessary information which they were not supposed to give in this time. So let's take a question. If an interview says, what is your day-to-day routine? It's an open-ended question. You can tell a whole story about how your day goes by. But they are not asking about that. They are asking about something particular, right? Which they have not said anything about. So how you can use this situation is in this way, that paraphrase just last three words: daily routine of work, and in that way they will explain which part they are willing to hear you from, and then you can tell only that specific part. In an interview, if you want to sound like an expert, you need to be the person in control. As I mentioned before, the person in control can control the situation. So you need to be answering very, very smartly. You need to be controlled and giving necessary information. So now let's talk about how you can reduce the confusion. And tonality is very, very important there. An expert sounds clear minded. Yes, it's in the sound that we realize that how much knowledgeable the person is and how good the hold they are having on some particular topic. So, how does it work is you need to direct your conversation by the sound of your question. I'll tell you how it works. Let's take an example. If an interview says, "What do you want to do in next 5 years?" It's a very common question. How you can answer this is in this way: manage my own team. And that's how most of the people say, by curving it on the upwards in the end. Hear me out with the whole conviction. Manage my own team. Is that sounding like a question or an answer? Because this question is asked by the interviewer to know whether you have a plan or not. And the people who have plans, they are sounded as an expert, right? So in this way, you can sound like an expert if you say, manage my own team. What I did here is I'm curving my sound downwards in the end. Please hear the difference if you can make out. Manage my own team or manage my own team. In this way, you can sound like an expert. The point is clarity. You need to know. If you want to sound like a question, then turn it upwards. If you want to sound like an expert, then turn it downwards. There should not be any confusion. Like you want to sound like an expert, but you're giving a tone of a question. So in this way, you can sound like an expert even after having an average knowledge. And most of the people are average, so don't worry about it. What you need to control is what information you're giving and how you're giving. And that way you will be able to create the kind of impression you would like to. Next, please. Now, to sum up, what companies are looking for exactly is a likable person who they can work with and is interested in the job profile and trustworthy with the company information. That's it. Yes, Ashpreet, we will be taking questions now.
Nisha will be answering all your queries and the session will continue.
Yes, everyone. So we'll be taking questions now. I hope I was clear and covered all the pointers, what happens in the background of an interview. Neha, are you ready with the questions?
Yes, yes. So
All right.
can we move ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Mr. Jyotir Bhalla had asked the question, how to face an elimination round, and is there any specific preparation that is required?
Yes, absolutely. So as you will skim through the JD, you need to make few notes that what is the exact requirement and how much it is it matching to your real knowledge. And in that, what you need to do, put all the pointers which matches on the top of your CV. So as soon as you start reading it, it feels like, yes, this is the right person for the job. And by that, what happens in the elimination round is mostly HRs are there. They would be asking you very quickly questions. Do you know this technology? Have you worked on this kind of projects before? What you need to do is very quickly you need to assure them that yes, you know what they are talking about, and as soon as they are assured, they would just put a check on that and put you on the next round list. And that's how you can clear your elimination round. Was it clear? Neha?
Yeah, so can we move ahead with the second one?
Yes, please.
Miss Sunia Kaur asked, what reasons can be given for job change to the interviewer?
Okay, so in this round, what in this question, you can answer them that you are looking for a certain kind of opportunity for a certain goal of yours. This is very much intriguing to the interviewers. If you are a clear-headed person who knows where their career should go, and for that, what you need to do is every time you need to set two kind of goals. One is long-term goal, which you can cover within 7 to 10 years maybe, and second goal which can be covered within 1 or 2 years. So by doing that, you will become very, very effective person. And when you will be telling them that in the long term, I want to get this kind of opportunity, and I don't see that happening in my current company. So I'm looking for change. Yeah, does that work?
Yes.
Awesome. Next.
Mr. Jasmeet Kaur asked, how can a person start a new job after a break?
Right. So this one particular way is very tricky. As Venu Ravindran mentioned, that people who are behind the table making the decisions, they don't really care about whether you have a break or whether you have a very good reason for that. Okay. But you will get a chance there to tell that answer only when you reach to the decision maker round. So how you can handle this situation is in the first level of filtration, when the computers work is there is a filtration. Actually what happens, a company makes a standard that if a person is having 2 years of gap, then this person is out. So what you can do is don't put the years in your job profile. In the previous job, if you are working for XYZ company, you just write this was my last company. They would not be able to get before they call you. When they call you, you can explain them, right? So that is a human to human factor that you have to leverage, but you will get that chance when you are on the interview table. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, can we take next question?
Yes, Mr. Jyotir Bhalla has asked, he just told us that he feels interview should be a two-way process and both parties should engage and get engaged with the other party. So this was not a question. This was something that he told us during the presentation. So would you like to say
Okay.
something about this, Nisha?
Can you repeat that, please?
He says that interviews should be a two-way conversation and both parties should equally engage with each other. So this was something that he was speaking while we were discussing interviews.
Yes. So absolutely. The point as I was making is why the interview should be in the form of conversation is when you like a person, you like to have a talk with them. And when you are having a talk, it is a clear indication that this person will be easy to work with. And that is a very important pointer how the decisions happen actually. And why I mentioned this in the decision making round is because one, you are meeting that person. Why you meet that person in that round only is in the decision maker round, you meet the team who you are going to work with, and they are judging you on the pointers that how easy to work with you are, how is your attitude, how is your presentation, are you a confident person, are you having all the skills what they are looking for. But why HRs don't care about this position is because one, HR don't work with you on the daily basis. Okay, what they need to care about is technically what kind of skills a company is looking for. So this is why first level of filtration is happening by computers, and the pointers are very, very important there. So match all the terminologies. As I gave an example, two words can mean very simple, same, but compute for computers, these are two very different terms. Second level is elimination. Those people do not understand your work. All they understand is we are looking for this kind of person. They are given a JD already and they know just the names. Like you know Java and you know any other language, maybe C sharp. You are a good person who can program, right? But only a decision maker would be able to understand that. For HRs, these are two different technologies. Okay, so this is why make your way fastest to the decision maker round and then make your presence. Can we take next,
Okay.
please?
Yes. Ms. Jasmeet Kaur has asked that speak about the current situation as a lot of people are jobless. How can one prepare themselves best for an interview?
That's a wonderful question. Actually, once Jasprit, every situation when there are hurdles, right after that, new opportunities emerge. And then for new opportunities, you will have to skill yourself up. For the new kind of opportunities, what we are expecting is there will be more automation from all the industries, especially the restaurant one, and all the companies who are having high level of human resources. So all the companies would be going for automation, and all the people who know automation will be getting all these jobs. So if you can skill yourself up, this is a wonderful time for that. Study, improve your skills.
Okay, lovely. Ms. Jasmeet Kaur has also asked, how can we not hide our tenure during our face-to-face interviews, and what reasons of our break can we convince the HR?
There can be very genuine reasons, you know. Sometimes these days, if you can openly said that you were exhausted, burnout, it's a very common problem, and all the HRs know this actually. Burnout is a serious problem, and for that people take break. There can be maternity leave. There can be you took break because you wanted to support someone who is sick at home, or maybe you fell sick yourself, or maybe you had an accident, you had to take some time to take time out, right? Or maybe that you want to strive for different kind of opportunities this time, and for that you will have to take time to study and prepare for that, right? And these are very genuine reasons. If you, and this only will be able to, okay, let me tell you this, okay, decision makers who you are gonna really work with, you want to make a very good reputation with them, and vulnerability is a wonderful point. how you, how it works is, all those friends who you call them as best friends, why you call them best friends is because they know the real you, the good points and the bad points. And this team who is looking for a person to work with, they would like a person who they know, who they can trust. And vulnerability, when you share something like that, the person tries to, the person can easily trust you. So don't lose on that one point. It's very, very important. It's a vulnerable point. You can give a very simple reason that I was busy in this particular thing, and say this, that it was a thoughtful thing. And you are a person who knows what they are doing. A confident person can control the situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, the next question is, often people are asked to explain themselves in 2 minutes, and people start thinking, and the 2 minutes are already lost. They talk about hobbies which they usually don't follow. So please provide us tips as how can we explain or we can describe ourselves.
That's wonderful. Actually, when you are prepared, 2 minutes are good enough. In fact, even 15 seconds are enough. So never go unprepared here. Okay. So what you need to tell them is one point where they can personally connect you with. So something about your family. Okay. In one liner, you can tell that you come from this kind of family. It can be, joint family. I come from a business family. That I tell everybody. I come from a business family. And by that, I mean my dad has been in business for 40 years, and that's what has set the foundation for me for being in business. And all the business people really like that sentence. So by that only, what you can do, check out that one liner about your own, which one person can think about and understand your personality. Then you can tell about what kind of achievements you have achieved by far. It can be education, it can be some experience, it can be something what project you have worked for. Try to bring some statements here with the stats. Okay. So in this way, what works is that I have been in business for 2.5 years. So you can understand that statistics you need to pull in this within these 2 minutes. What inspires you, you need to pull in these 2 minutes. You need to give a personal statement, that is very important. You need to give an information which will be able to decode your personality. For me, it can be very much important that if a person has some out of the box thinking, I would definitely be able to connect with them. In that way, when you will be telling something which is giving out something of your personality, then they would be more interested to know about it. And that is how you set the base for further question. Like if I'm saying I'm an out of the box thinker, it's obvious that the other person is going to say, how do you know? Tell me some experience, right? So you know what the next question is going to be. So now you are controlling the conversation. Am I making sense?
Yes.
All right. So giving the pointers, something personal, about your education background, about your achievements, what you want to do next. Okay, so a clear-headed person will go with all these information, and 2 minutes are good enough to tell this to anybody actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So the next question is from Mr. Jyotir Bhalla. He's asked that where to scout for genuine job opportunities.
Okay, so there are many ways actually to get a job. My favorite is to actually reach out people, not rely on two computers. Okay, because the competition you are cutting down there is the biggest leverage you can have. If you can meet some people from different companies, those companies that you are really willing to work for, okay, and as big of a position they would be, that would be good for you. You will get direct a chance to build the rapport which will be giving you opportunity, not only those opportunities which are available right now, but for as long as they can think of you. Okay, so what I would do is I will go ahead and join some groups and start telling people what I can actually do. So all these people, whenever there would be an opportunity, they would come and tell me, and that will cut off all the people who would be, running in the race, rat race. You really want to cut that short. But that is my way. And the other way I have really told you, go ahead on the website you really want to work for, the companies, and pick out the JDs. It does not matter if it is old, pick out the terms. That is how you will be coming in the computerized filter. Okay. First level is the hardest actually for most of the people. And every time you need to make a new JD. Yeah. So what I would do is first I will make a CV the best of my abilities. That will be my first step. Then I would go ahead, pick out these 5 JDs and pick out the terms from them and put in my CV. And that way, my CV will match to most of the jobs of that position, that particular expertise. And that will cut short a lot actually. This is the best way I have ever found.
Okay, great.
Yes.
All right. So the next question is, can you give tips for somebody who is preparing for civil services exam, as it is considered as the most difficult exam in India?
I'm sorry, I really can't, but definitely I can connect you with somebody who would be in that job and you can help.
All right.
Please go
Thank
ahead. On this point, I would say, please go ahead, join us on our social media. You can connect on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the name of @Nisha of Logic. And you can search directly on the Google Cognitive Thinking Program. You will reach out on our website, that is www.cognitivethinkingprogram.com. Also, please join us on our LinkedIn. So, in this way, our favorite platforms are Instagram and LinkedIn. You can reach out to us anytime and we would be happy to help you in this regard. Do we have more
Okay.
questions?
Yes. Please suggest some points to tackle the situation if the HR offers less package from the previous firm.
See, it depends that how much of desperation you are in. If you are very desperate for a job, I would say take the job and keep looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about it. Any other questions?
Guys, if you have any more questions, please go ahead now.
I think, Nisha, we can wrap this up. And I would like to thank you for such a wonderful session.
Thank
Plus,
you so much.
I would like to tell everyone that after this one, the recording will be available on the Job for Six page. Secondly, if anyone wants to contact Nisha, her details and her company details will be shared on the same page. So you guys, for any further queries, can contact Nisha.
So if you will give me just 2 minutes to tell
Yeah,
that
sure.
what we do in cognitive thinking program is how it helps is it leads people towards extraordinary performance. And how it works is, there is a theory, 80-20 rule. You can Google it about it to know in detail. How it works is, your 20% of efforts actually bring out your 80% of the outcome. So beforehand, we figure out what of those 20% effort is going to give you that 80% of outcome, and we will be training you onto that. And that's how, with very less effort, we are being able to help hundreds of participants. And you can read about that on our website, and they will tell you all about it, how great this program are, this particular program, CTP as we call, how it is helping people to achieve big. And we have all other programs as well, how it helps you to become the extraordinary performer. Is not only it makes you a person who knows what they are doing, it also makes you a person who is doing the things better. For example, if you are checking hundreds of emails, we can teach you how you can check hundreds of emails within a few minutes. And that is one of our programs. We have many of such programs. Please go ahead and check out our website. And if you would like to know more, please contact us. We would be happy to help you. Can we go on the next slide, please?
Nisha, there is one last question.
Yes, please go ahead.
How can we source for hike in salary? I think the person wants to ask that how do we speak to the HR about a hike in salary?
Okay, Jasmeet, if you are here, can you please turn on your mic? You will have to tell me more what exactly you are asking so that I can give you a to-the-point answer.
Hi.
Hi.
So I was asking, like, if you're looking for a change, so whatever is our current salary, so how we can look for a hike in the current salary?
See, hike in the sense, you think your pay
As you
is
said for the previous question, if a person is desperate, so has to go for the current job. But that would not be the convinced answer for me. So I would like to know how we can look for a hike from our current salary.
Yes, so that is why I said only if you're desperate for a job, because those people actually don't take the job first and then feel sad about it that I didn't take it and I don't know next job kam milega. Okay, now coming on to your point is, when you know that you deserve a hike, and you will have to do a research, actually go ahead on the Glassdoor and PayScale. There are many websites, whether you are on which level of your experience level, your expertise, and your pay scale. These three things matter actually. Okay, what you need to see is where you are in your industry pay scale level. If you deserve a hike, go ahead and directly ask to the HR, giving them reason. Now you will have to really convince them, and negotiation starts. You need to give them two reasons. One, personal reason. Why do you need more money? It's not fair, but you have to. Especially when you are a woman, you have to convince them on the grounds. And I will do not only negotiate on terms of, I deserve more, but I would also say that I have so many expenses, I am living far away, or whatever reason are. One time in one job, I said, Bangalore is more expensive city than Hyderabad when I was shifting. And they agreed, it is. Okay, you have to negotiate on multiple terms. And there's no shame about it. You should definitely negotiate. And if they
No,
do
negotiation is, sorry to interrupt you, negotiation is not an issue, but talking about the personal reason and coming up for a salary hike, but in today's scenario, you think companies work into it for the personal reason and give a hike?
see, that is what I gave you two reasons. You need to give two reasons.
And
One
being
is the
a
personal
girl or
reason.
being a woman, the company never go for a personal reasons.
Hear me out once. Okay. First thing I said that you have to really do a research which pay scale you are in your industry. Okay. Sometimes we really think we deserve it, but it might not be a very good time for us. Like right now, it is not a very good time to ask for a hike.
Yeah.
Okay, none company can really provide you a hike. So you need to figure out, is this the right time? You need to figure out on what basis you would be asking. Okay. I would suggest you, if in your research it does not come out that it is neither a good time or maybe you are on a decent pay scale, you learn something Okay, upskill yourself and then go to HR and ask on that basis. And why I'm saying personal reason and one professional reason, you need to negotiate on two. For women, it works wonderfully when you tell that you're doing it for others. Okay, because people really expect us to do everything for others. It's not fair, but this is truth. Okay, sometimes you really have to accept the truth. This is how it is.
Okay, thank you.
So please care about it. Research, personal reason, skill up, and then ask for raise. Okay? All of them. Don't leave any loophole there. Are we having any more questions?
No, we don't.
Can you give the next slide, please? Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. You have been a wonderful audience. If you have more questions, please go ahead, write it on the email that is reach@cognitive-thinking-program.com, or you can reach out to us at the rate Nisha of Logic on all the social media platforms. We would love to have you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nisha, for a wonderful session. And thank you for answering all the queries in such a wonderful way. I would request you all to please share the details also. आपको कोई भी further queries है तो निशा की details आपको मिल जाएगी Facebook page पे, and you can contact her directly. So thank you everyone. Thank you the whole team of Oplogic for being a part, and we hope to have more sessions in future with you, Nisha. Thank you.
Absolutely, we would love to.
Thank
you so much, everyone. Bye. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.